Hey everybody, now welcome back to Mainstream Monday here on Horror Film Lovers TV. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with
John Ward.
yes, and we're here to talk about Chucky season one. So we're
Yep.
gonna do season one, season two, and season three,
Yep.
and then I think we've got the documentary slash recap thing,
Yes.
and then we are done with
We are
Chucky.
done.
We're done
Yes.
with Chucky. Thank God. I can't take this anymore. Too much
It's a
Chucky.
lo-
It's a
it's a
lot of
lot of
Chucky.
Chucky, man.
It is a lot of Chucky. Too much Chucky. One like I could see if I watched it like over the course of the year or something, but like watching it back to back to back, it's like, damn it, dude, I feel like I'm in the world of Chucky or something.
But that's kind in a way kind of a good thing because then you can experience Chucky in one big lump and say, does it work? As one big lump from Child's Play all the way up to season three. Does this work as one long storyline?
Well,
Uh,
and that's an interesting thing, but also given that, most people who've been fans of Chucky for years, they've watched the evolution and they see it differently than I would probably, considering like you probably see it differently now than you did when you first watched it.
well, this would be my third time watching season one.
Oh, well, I'm saying this through the whole course of all the stuff we've done.
Well, I'm looking at it as does this work as one long film? Kind of like if you watch Saw. You know how a lot of the Saw movies, they're like one right after another. It's like maybe an hour after the last movie took place. Like if you stuck them all together on a timeline, would they work? And
Paranormal Activity was the same way for us,
you
right?
yeah, you could kind of look at it that way too. And I think that Chucky does work. So
I think so. I mean, I don't see problems. I mean, there's probably clashing issues. We did do the Child's Play movie right before this one, I think, right?
yeah, the remake.
The
Yeah.
remake, and that had a similar thing, which I guess we'll get more into, but like the killing of the cat seemed similar in a way, like the cat was an asshole, and then but in the difference between that Chucky is he didn't understand what he was doing, like he didn't understand what this thing was. This thing was just hurting the person he cared about. In this case, he's just an asshole, that kills a cat, like
Oh, Chucky's an asshole that
yeah,
kills
Chucky's an asshole that kills a cat.
a nice cat.
Yeah, nice. Well, it was. I mean, I could see it being like it started hissing at him and whatnot,
Well,
but
it's because he knows there's something wrong, and the cat knows
right.
that there's something wrong. So it's I don't think I had a as much of a problem with it in in season one as I did in the remake. It just seemed to be a little more vicious for,
Mm.
in that one. So it's well, so someone who has never seen season one before, what is your take? It's 8 episodes and they would normally fit into a 1 hour time slot. So what's your overall impression
I have seen
compared
the
to the rest of it?
I have seen the pilot. And I'd seen the pilot because when I used to have DirecTV, we don't have that anymore at the house. But when I had DirecTV, I recorded the whole Chucky's first season when it first came out. And then I didn't. I watched the first episode, and I just forgot to go back to the next. I just got busy, didn't end up watching the second episode, and then time flew by, and it got like under and under and under my watch stuff, and then somehow somebody deleted it. Maybe because I wasn't watching it, they deleted it, and I was kind of sad because I was like, that was the time I was actually ready to watch it back then, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this, and I'm like, where is it? And it's deleted. So that kind of sucked. Um, but then I was like, it's okay. I'll watch it when I watch it, right? Like whenever. It wasn't something I was dying. And I'm glad I didn't watch it until we saw it now because there would be things like I do remember Cult of Chucky, before then, so it wouldn't be too confusing because like some of the stuff that is a sort of a sequel to Cult which I was just talking to a friend of mine, and she was like, "Oh, I love Chucky, right?" It's like, "But I hate Cult of Chucky." And I was like, "Then you might not like Chucky season one, because there's a lot of continuation with that, and
Oh
stuff." So
yeah.
if you're not a big fan, because I think a lot of people did not thought it was stupid, um the army of Chuckies and stuff, and that's a big thing in this one, and everything. And so,
Yeah, he splits his soul and he can do
yeah.
that now. So it's I mean they bring stuff in even in the movies, they like the amulet and stuff. They bring things in that don't make sense and then they take them out or they retcon something or whatever. I mean, I guess that you have to after this many movies and then you're now doing an 8 episode TV
Yeah, I
series.
mean,
But
the movie can't be a doll trying to, steal the soul of a young boy every movie. That'd be boring. You have to give the first three were that, and then after a while, it's like, all right, now we got to do something different to like, make it different. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. So, I didn't like the amulet stuff, but I thought that was dumb. But then, that becomes like, I don't remember that wasn't in Chucky season one at all, right? Like they got rid of that.
no, no.
So
Because
that,
I think the only thing that they were doing is the little sister. I'm trying to figure out what was the little sister's name of Lexi.
I don't remember. It was,
Um,
uh, honestly,
is,
she was my least favorite character.
is that no?
So
Yeah, is that Caroline? Is she
I think
Caroline?
Caroline, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the only real person that he's maybe trying to. Well, yeah, that's I think that's the only person in season one that he's trying to maybe transfer his body into is
He
the
didn't really,
cute
I mean, he didn't really
the cute
try. I
little
mean,
girl.
I don't think so.
No, what I'm saying that would be the only thing
Yeah, but he
is
didn't
if
do that though. I don't
no.
think so. It,
I
you
mean, he
know,
wanted to use her more as, hey, you want to go kill some people with me? So
I,
that seemed to be his thing with anybody that he came across was, can I find somebody to kill with me?
right. And at first I was like, why? Like he's just a serial killer. Why doesn't he just kill whoever he feels like killing? But it did two interesting things, with that. The first thing is, it had him trying to bond with one of the kids to get them to kill. So that was interesting. 'Cause at first it was Jake. Then when Jake pussied out on it because he's not a killer, you know, like he's not like that. He starts focusing on his cousin, and Junior and stuff. So that was one thing, and then B, it was part. Apparently, it was part of the getting them all to have the dolls or something like the army, because if he gets somebody to kill them, then somehow that transfers powers to the dolls. I didn't quite understand that. It was very confusing.
Yeah, well, they make it a little confusing. I don't know if it's intentional or not. So, but I have a question for you, and th this is not probably not a popular question. So I looked at the ages of these kids, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're 18, 20-year olds playing because younger kids. Because I forgot this was middle school. I thought it was high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, this was
And
14 years old.
so the two boys are when they are actually 15. The girl is 15 to 16 when they first started this. Don Mancini, as we know, is openly gay.
Hmm.
So looking at this now, I don't know if I agree with this relationship between the two guys because it's like Euphoria. At least with Euphoria, they were adults playing
Yeah, like when
teenagers.
you saw Sydney Sweeney naked in Euphoria, you're not looking at an actual teenager naked, right?
Right. And I remember on Facebook, I did a post where I said, oh, I just, I got done watching, Euphoria episode 1 or whatever it was. And she goes, yeah, I can't watch it. And I'm like, well, why? And she goes, well, because it deals with teenagers,
Right.
sex, drugs, all that stuff. And I go, well, the characters are teenagers, but they're played by adults. And she goes, well, yeah, but they're still playing
Portraying
teenagers.
teenagers.
Yeah. So then I looked at Chucky and I'm like, okay, well, let me see here. Maybe these kids, the two boys, are actually gay. And, but I, they're 15.
Hmm.
Is that, I mean,
Well,
did
and
we have to make them gay? Couldn't they, or maybe just make this in high school? Make it a little bit older. Why is this? It almost seems, and I'm sorry if I piss anybody off, it seems a little bit like grooming to me. And it's, I don't mind the characters. Um, I, 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 I mean, the Jake annoyed me because he looked like frigging uh um Kevin Will Smith's son
oh, he looked like Jaden.
because he's always doing this. He
Yeah.
always had this scrunched up face. Always, and Jaden Smith always has this scrunched up face, and he kept doing that throughout the whole season. That annoyed me.
That didn't annoy me. But what I agree with you on the, that stuff on even on the heterosexual side with the junior and God, why am I blanking on her name?
Lexi?
Lexi. When they are together, you know, which is really weird. My niece's name is Lexi, not spelled with a Y, but like so whenever I say her name, it just feels weird to be talking about somebody else. But like when they have that situation where they're like on the bed making out and she's trying to get him to fuck her, and stuff for the first time, and then she calls him like a pussy for not doing it and everything like that. All I could think of was I was like, oh, she's got to be like 20 something playing that. I look it up, she was actually 14 at the time.
Well, I saw on Wikipedia it said 15 to 16.
Yeah, well,
But we'll say she's around that area,
yeah,
between
14 or
14 and 16.
15. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that is, and then I figured, okay, so then is Junior supposed to be gay because he's got his hot girlfriend who's making a move on him and he doesn't do anything. And I did like Chucky under the bed trying to stab them with the
Yeah,
knife. I thought
he
was
keeps
funny.
doing that period. Like there was other times where he kept going,
The theater at the end is
yeah,
he's
theater.
getting the people in the ass, which is
Yeah.
awful. But it's I don't know. It's like,
Sorry, I had to go check and see if Chucky was under
oh
my
yeah, you
seat.
should. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of scary. So I don't know. I don't know how because I know when I went seventh and eighth grade for me were together. So it basically went up from 1 to 6, then 7 and 8, and then 9 to 12. So 7 and 8 were together. And I remember in seventh and eighth grade, mostly eighth grade, is people were starting to hook up. And so it's like, okay, like remember my friends telling me of the girls they made out with, or they went up the shirt or whatever it was. So these things do happen. And something like a show like Euphoria made me very happy that I never had kids because I'm just like, if this is what kids are like
What
today,
what about the movie Kids? Where they had real
even
life
way back,
kids.
yeah, even way
doing-
back when that was bad.
I mean,
And
but a lot of people like that. Like a lot of people, not that they like it because they like it because they like to see kids, whatever, but they like it because that's honest, it's real, uh it's something that sort of nobody would ever make, unless you do it independently and you make that because people are so afraid that, whatever. But like for me, it goes to like I'll use this as an example that I've used on other movies, but like Jeepers Creepers 2, I'll never watch anymore. Yeah, I watched it once And then I found out about Victor Salva and his child stuff, and everything. I don't really, it's not about that, but it is sort of about that because he went and he made Jeepers Creepers 1, which had people of, above age, right? Justin Long and the girl dealing with that stuff. So they were, older, they were adults, dealing with
Like in
Jeepers
their early
Creepers.
20s or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
So if they had sex, well, I think they were sister and brother, so they
Yeah.
hopefully didn't have sex. But if they did whatever, like if they had sex with somebody else, that's okay. As long as the person was consent, ages consent or whatever. Then they did what is it? Jeepers Creepers 2, and that had a bunch of shirtless guys and very creepy things to me, and these were all supposed to be teenagers. Now they were played by 18 to 20 to 30 whatever year olds and stuff, and that's fine that they were played by that, but that meant that a dude who was a child molester who's been caught doing that was was literally writing a scene saying this teenager takes off his shirt. And to me, I can't watch it. Like, because
Well, yeah, what people don't realize is Victor Salva is the creeper.
right.
That character is him. So when he is mostly aiming at boys or young men, taking their faces and body parts and all that type of stuff, that's him
Hmm.
really wanting to do, or in some ways, because I believe it was on that movie Clown House
Hmm.
that the incident happened. And so yeah, it's that's where I think a lot of people have a problem with the Jeepers Creepers movies is, well, why would Francis Ford Coppola produce these movies knowing that that Victor Salva is a pedo?
He also stuck up for him. He did a character, letter and stuff to the people. Like he helped get a smaller, jail time sentence for Victor. So I feel like that was wrong, but like I don't look at like as far as I know, like Francis Ford Coppola is a pretty good dude. He just had a bad, he just didn't he just hung out with the wrong dude, and stuck up for the wrong guy. I don't hear him talking about hanging out with him now, or anything, or after he got
Right.
out and stuff. Um, but it is one of those things where um I wonder a little bit how people feel watching something like this and seeing like 15 to 16-year-old boys or whatever kissing, who I don't know if they're in real life. I'm hoping that in real life those two actors are gay, you know, because if they're not and they're playing that part, I mean they're acting, so that's good. But like then is it is it a little bit weird, for
Well,
it? I don't know.
that's kind of what I'm talking about, and it gets worse, in each season as they get older, I guess. But it's like I don't think Don Mancini is trying anything,
Right.
but it would be the same thing with if it was a straight guy. And the straight guy is like, okay, and it could be two boys or two girls that are, let's say, 15. Okay, now I want you guys to start, or gals, make out on the bed. Oh, yeah, yeah, that looks really good. Oh, you might go, wait a minute, what is this person, this allegedly straight guy, wanting these two boys or two girls to start making out? So I'm not insinuating that it's something like a gay thing. I'm saying it could be anybody, but it just happens to be on this film that maybe, even like a straight guy could be obviously a pedo and get these kids to do it. I don't know why it can't be college, or maybe because it's middle school, they're in the same town. If it was college, maybe they'd be separated, and then somehow they'd have to figure out how to come together. But it was one of, and I don't know, maybe this is aimed at a Gen Z, audience that are a lot more accepting of these type of things. And
I
it,
think that might be a thing too, is because times are sort of changing, especially with when it comes to LGBTQ community. And I'm like, look, I love the LGBTQ community. I love them to death. And I have no problem with people kiss, like, whatever, same-sex kissing each other. I do have an issue when it's underage kids, but I also have the same problem with underage kissing, you know, and trying to have sex in the like people not of the same sex, like heterosexual stuff. Like to me, it just feels icky when it's 14 years old, when they're supposed to be
well,
14.
that's my point. If they were older, if these were adults, I have I mean, I have, as you know, I have friends that are gay. I have no problem with gay people at all. It could be men, it could be women. I don't care. I really don't.
Yeah.
If I go see a movie where it's two adults and they're both gay, men or women, and they decide to kiss or they start a sex scene or whatever it is, I don't care. I just don't like the idea of it being with kids because they are kids. They can't vote. They can't buy alcohol. They can't even
But
go into like the military.
but a lot of
The
them already know if they're gay or not by like 8 years old.
I I'm not too sure about that because they're kids. They say that your brains aren't really even fully developed until you're 25.
I
So
just I
I
don't I
mean,
think
when
you
I'm a
know
kid that age, when
did
of
you
course,
ever
grant,
wait, when you were a kid that age, did you have a crush on a boy?
no,
Well, there you go.
no,
Did you have a
but I
crush on a
did,
girl?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So you knew who you liked and you knew who you didn't like. And that's fine. I don't know if you know this about me because I don't really talk about it much, but I guess I will here. I'm bi, but I don't really date guys, like or whatever. I think you knew that about me,
You told me that a long
Yeah,
time ago,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's the thing is like you know, I, the thing with the fact that, I knew who was attractive, like I was like, oh man, Tom Cruise is really hot, when I was a kid. But I never thought, oh man, I want to jump his bones because I was more attracted to women, So I was more like, oh man, Kelly from Saved by the Bell is gorgeous. But then I
Hmm.
was also like, Zach from Saved by the Bell is also good looking. I was like, damn, I want him to be with Kelly. If anyone's going to be with Kelly, it better be Zach, not Slater, the beefcake who everybody, I do like Mario Lopez, don't get me wrong, but I
No,
was
he
like,
he got a showgirl.
he did. He got the show. He probably got the best, you
So
know.
yeah, there you go.
There you go.
No, and I get what you're saying, and I would agree. Yes, if I'm 15 and I like a girl, then most likely a guy who's 15 would probably like a guy. So I get that. I just don't think our brains aren't fully developed. We
That's
don't. That's why people go to college is to figure out who they are. And it could, and who knows, maybe a straight guy at 15 who likes girls may like boys or
yeah,
guys later
but
on, but it's giving a chance. It's, I don't know. I'm not a fan. As much as I love Chucky, as much as I like Don Mancini, as much as I like the series, Chucky will always be my favorite. I just have a little bit of a problem with that.
well,
And
I'm just saying, like,
so,
even though that's true, you're 100% correct, you know, that our brains aren't probably fully developed. What I'm just saying is that if there are 15-year-old kids who are 15-year-old boys who like other 15-year-old boys, and this is only just showing that, this isn't they're going and saying you have to like 15-year-old boys. This isn't all gay relationships or anything. And then it's just saying that all everybody's got to be gay. It's showing there are gay relationships. There are a lot of straight relationships in the movie. The gay relationships are just in there because that's what there are. There are those characters, and that's who Don Mancini, as a gay person, a homosexual man, identifies with. He can write for them because he's been there. He's probably a 15-year-old kid who fell in love with another 15-year-old kid back then. Unless there was a time in his life where he thought he was straight, and maybe he would put that into something, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't, like I said, it could be a straight guy who wants to see two 15-year-olds hook up, because he's getting off on it. It could be anything. I just, the one thing that I will definitely give this credit for is they were never harassed.
Right.
Right there, that's just who they are. People accepted them for that. They had
There was
this
no gay
relationship.
bashing or
Right.
anything
And
like that.
so I did like that.
And
I just find it's just they're 50 and I don't want to really see Euphoria even was kind of creepy, except we did know that they were adults. And so seeing a naked Sydney Sweeney or one of the other girls in it was weird, but at least we knew, okay, they're 20
but
or
even then, I
whatever.
don't watch it. I haven't watched the movie or the show because I just can't.
Oh,
I tried. I just
I'm not
after.
watching season 3. I don't want to.
Well, it's just creepy to me. Like it's just weird to see teenagers doing that stuff, doing drugs, doing, all these things, which is what happens, especially in high school. Not I don't remember my middle school years being like this. I don't remember even being I don't know, maybe there were parties and I just never were invited, because I was that kid who wouldn't have shown up anyway, because I didn't go out on a Friday night. I didn't go out on a Friday night till 20 years old, to be honest, because that's just who I was. I still, if I get invited to parties, I still say no, to things because I'm very much a homebody, always been that way. Um, but I don't think I remember school dances. So like I'm kind of surprised they didn't do something like that. Chucky would have had a field day at a school dance, running around just killing a bunch of
Cutting
kids at
everybody's legs or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. But they didn't do that, and I was kind of bummed about that because that's my middle school years is, oh man, nobody's gonna want to dance with me because I'm a loser or whatever thoughts that were in my head at that time as a kid. But that was the difference is like I like when I look back at it, and honestly, in my town, and especially when I was a kid, nobody was allowed to be gay. Really. Like you were gay, you were either made fun of badly or you were like bashed, kind of thing for it and stuff. And it was the stuff that they show now, I feel like that is the world we live in nowadays, where it is a lot more tolerant and stuff. There are still people who probably do that, but it seemed like Hackensack at least, or at least the town portrayal is that like the kids just sort of, let like there was that line in it uh where they were kind of at the table, you know, at the dinner table in the first episode, and Junior's making fun of Jake for being gay kind of thing, and then they're like, "Oh, it's okay to be gay these days" and stuff like that, and we're so tolerant of that, kind
Well,
of
except
thing.
for his dad,
Yeah,
who
his
wanted him
dad.
to. But I get that. I mean, if that's the place where you live and you're expecting your son to grow up and be a lumberjack and marry a woman and have kids in a very traditional type of way, it would bother you,
It would,
and
but that's, and that was the thing I liked about the end, where there's that. I think Jake was talking to Chucky, or yeah, I think it was Chucky, somebody, but they were like saying like, I did. these things. Yeah, it was Chucky. He was like, I did these things for you. I helped you out. I was your friend. And he was like, you killed my father. And he was like, yes, but he was harassing you. He was being terrible to you. And then he said, but we would have worked, we could have worked it, we could have possibly worked it out. He didn't give him that chance to work it out with his dad. And I liked that. I liked that he
Yeah.
caught that. And it's something that I think not many people sort of realize when they go through grief or whatever, especially with somebody who they had a they had that time with and then it was cut short. You know, they wanted to have that time where they could have tried to heal the wound or somehow gotten through this. Maybe they would have, maybe they wouldn't have, but they at least didn't get that chance, you know. And Chucky thought killing that guy would have brought them closer and because he thinks like a serial killer, right? You know, he thinks, oh, he's gonna love me now that I killed his father who was harassing him. Now he's gonna do these things for me, you know?
Well, and maybe Chucky found the dad to be intolerant, because he does tell Jake, I got a gay kid,
Yeah.
so the dad is there, saying, basically telling Jake you can't be gay. And so, that could be one of the reasons why Chucky does it. So when I was thinking of all this stuff with just like they're 15 and is this appropriate, then I was thinking of other movies and where I'm like, no, maybe I'm being a hypocrite on this because you look at something like, and granted, these are adults, but you look at something like Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Hmm.
What is the most famous scene from Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
To me, there's my favorites. I have two favorite scenes in that movie, but the first one is the one that's apparently been rewound the most in the
That
you
would
know.
be Phoebe Cates, to the cars moving in stereo. And she is supposed to be, and her character is hooking up with a college guy. She
Um
talks about that.
and the other girl,
But
um
Jennifer Jason Lee
Jennifer
has
Jason Lee has sex, like she gets her
twice.
virginity and she goes and has sex with Mark or whatever. And I think that was his name. But he Mark Damone or something like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then he but she was like 20 something, I think, and then she still looked like she was like 14 or
They
15 or
all kind
whatever.
of look like kids. Like I could see
Yeah.
them as seniors, basically, or whatever they were. But it's and I'm thinking like, okay, well, that's a little bit of euphoria there because they're of age, but they're playing teenagers and they're doing nudity. So, and they're having sex. And of course, there's also the abortion. So, just like Last American Virgin, which was a ripoff on that, there's nudity in that, and there's an abortion in that. So it's like, I don't know, maybe I just kind of wish with this, and then maybe we could move past it, is I don't know, I just think they should have been older. That's all.
No, I agree.
But they're not naked. They don't have their shirts off. They're not
They're
simulating
not in the
anything.
brawl. They're not even in a brawl or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I mean it's
Or,
as far
underwear.
as I don't know, like comparing it to Fast Times at Ridgemont High would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Chucky season one would be Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm in comparison to sex. So
I mean, it's
it's
TV 14. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, it is not, which I think was weird. Why didn't they call it TV 13? Like, why did they change it to 14? Like, they have PG 13, but they have TV 14. I don't know. It's just something that bothers me a little bit. But anyway, by the way, I did love that line because I love that line of where he says my kid's gay. And then he's like, really?
he's like, you
Right?
you have a kid? He's like,
Yeah, he's like,
yeah.
yeah, he's gender fluid, right? And then he was like, and you totally accept him or something like that. He goes, yeah, Jake, I'm not a monster. And
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny, but considering he kills everybody, yeah, he's a fucking monster. But he thinks in this series, which I feel like is a little bit different than the movies, but in this series, he thinks he's doing the right thing by killing these people. These people had it coming, or these
Oh,
people deserve to die.
Junior, I don't think deserved it because he had his father had a lot to do with stuff. But it's Lexi. Oh my God, she is pure evil. And granted, she has the arc,
Right.
to where she does become a better person, and each
Oh,
season
I
she
was
gets
so
better and
glad she had
better.
that arc because I really did not
Oh
like
my God,
her.
she is the type of girl who I'm surprised Jake did not take a gun to school, and do stuff because that is the type of person that a lot of the times gets these people through being a bully and being abusive and manipulating them and doing all this too. And granted, I'm not making up an excuse for all of them because it is a mental thing, but it's like I mean, Jake was going to kill her because of what she was doing. And I'm just like, man, I wonder if Don Mancini or somebody knew a person like this in middle school or even high school that was this evil. And
I
she
mean,
knew she could tell when she was doing the electrocution thing with Jake's dad who died.
she saw his look on his face,
Well,
and then
and
she,
she calmed down for a second and then just went right back into it, knowing she was wrong. Junior was the same way. Junior would give Jake a really hard time, and then he'd be kind of like, fuck, but I got to do it. I've already started it. So now I have to finish it. And even Lacey's little sister, the one who's autistic, oh my God. I'm sorry, that kid would be in a closet. I mean,
yeah, she
it's
was my least favorite character.
oh,
But
I don't know if the actual actress is autistic. She did a great
no,
job doing
I
it
don't
because she
think so.
got on my nerves so much with just, I want Chucky, I want Chucky. You're not getting fucking anything, little girl. Sorry. Scream your head off.
Yeah, my niece, Lexi, uh, she has a kid named Patrick who is my, great nephew, which we just call him my nephew, you know. But he is he'll cry. Like even today, he cried, or whatever about not getting what he wanted. You know what she did? First of all, she let him cry. And then she, after a while, if he was doing that stuff, she put him on in timeout. Said, "You're going in timeout," and stuff. She doesn't tolerate that shit. And that, I'm like, that's the way you raise a fucking child. You don't let them just get whatever they want. It's not Veruca Salt from freaking the Charlie and Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory going, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I'm gonna get everything
Daddy,
I
I
want.
want an Oompa Loompa
Yeah,
now.
right. Exactly. And to me, I might have been like a lot like that, but my parents grounded me. They took away my toys, you know. They did things, if I acted up, they told me to shut up, in some way or another. Maybe not in those words, but they told, kind of just like they let me know because I was being a brat. And that's
Right.
what this girl was. I don't care. She might have been autistic or something, but she was a brat. And
Oh yeah, she
brats
she definitely was autistic. But
and
it's just it's so I thought that she worked great with Chucky. I
mm,
like when they're playing the video
oh
games.
yeah, that was the best. If she had stayed kind of like that, I would have been okay with her because I did like her like with him doing that stuff, and I almost felt like, oh, nice, Chucky found a friend that he
Yeah.
can just play with, or whatever.
I'm gonna go kill your sister.
And then she's like,
He's like,
okay.
yeah, all right, I'm just playing my game here. Because the stuff
I
with
don't think she
Lexi
understood
is
what kill meant though, because like she kept
right.
saying stuff to them like they want me to kill you, but like it didn't sound like she understood what she was saying because I don't think she would have like and it might go back to the autism because I didn't know that that's the way she was. I thought she was just a brat. And B, I thought, because when she would say, I want Chucky, I want Chucky, I want Chucky, I just thought that was just her being like,
No,
that's
she
how.
is on the spectrum. I
But
mean,
yeah,
she is,
there was
yeah.
parts where she was on the floor, kind of coddling her, like
Yeah,
maybe
because that
telling
was the
her,
thing is the parents spent more time with her, coddling her and giving her what she wanted, which is why Lexi was such a bitch to everybody else because she was acting out because of her parents. And
Hmm.
it's the same thing with Junior was being a dick to people because of the dad.
Well,
You know,
and when Lexi's mom and dad found out what she did, they like really treated her bad, which I guess technically she kind of deserved. She deserved to be sort of, but it really kept going, getting worse. They kept kind of pushing her even more away than they did before. Like before, they were just ignoring her kind of and letting her, making her, like when she wanted to go to, I think was it Oliver's party or so? I think it was Oliver's party. They went to the party, Halloween party, and what is it? And that was where Chucky came and played video games
as that
because
the Hello Kitty mask.
yeah, that woman, that woman, that was one of my favorite scenes. That woman's like, hi, little one, blah blah blah, and he's like, I got a treat for you, right?
Gives her a friggin' apple with a razor blade in it.
And then she survived that and was like, that little shit. He went out and I don't know who he was. He said ready. Now, you have to wonder about the Devin's mom, who was like, for the longest time, was trying to figure out this whole thing, right? She was trying to figure out who, uh, who killed who, or whatever. And I don't know why they eventually like they had no evidence about the teacher. There's no real hard evidence that the teacher did anything. Like they in real life would not have arrested her. That was stupid. Like I didn't like that whole.
I'm trying to think, what did they gave a reason, but it was,
It was bullshit. It was like, oh, she was there around, like she was the last person to see. Like that doesn't mean
yeah.
anything. If unless you saw a witness actually slash see her slash, what I mean? There's no proof like that she did any of these crimes. In fact, she was nowhere to be found when most of these things happened. So
Well, I
like,
think she's the biology teacher. She can use the scalpel on
yeah,
the
but
frogs, and so it's like, oh, okay, so who would? But then, of course, you could also say something about, I don't know, the coach. You
but
know,
no, but like
you know.
nobody, no, like that was my least favorite part of the whole series is because I was just like thinking, why the fuck did they arrest her? Like, other than just to give her something extra to be in the movie, to be in the series, there really was no point to it. It made no sense whatsoever. And the mayor is the dumbest mayor I've ever seen in the face of the planet. And like and honestly, the father dies, and I wanted the mother to die. Like, I just didn't care for her. Like, like, she was so, and I can see why they would keep her around. I don't know if she comes back in any of the other seasons, and don't tell me, because don't spoil or anything. But like, I don't care about her. The only people I cared about were the three, like, main ones. Even Junior, I kind of cared about, but like, after a while, like, he just became a nuisance and everything to me. And I didn't want him to die, you know. I was kind of sad about that. But I kind of wanted him to go away, you know. Like,
I wasn't because he'd probably end up being a frat boy that did date rape.
I mean,
That's the impression that I got from him because of his dad, who's one of your favorite guys from Final Destination.
I love Devin Sawa. I actually wrote to him on Twitter X, whatever you want to call it. He's still on that, which is surprising considering he's very, very liberal. I don't know if you've ever checked out any of his posts and tweets, but he had said something on there about uh somebody recognized him. Something. What did he say? Let me pull it up because it is one of the. I said something funny to him and I did not get any love from it. At
Well,
all.
he's in all three seasons, so he's a regular. He just plays different characters.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more of the stuff that he's in because he's but I Yeah, he is. Oh yeah. He said, just told my 9-year-old I was born in the 70s, and she screamed, "Holy fuck!" Right? And then it's like, why did I think you were born in 1980, not 79? Hey, I kind of gasped, "Holy fuck." Because I was, I thought he was 1980. I thought he was just a couple years older than me. He's 4 years older than me, which isn't too much older, but I thought he was for some reason, because I think Christina Ricci is about my age, and they were both in Casper together, I believe. So I thought that they were closer in age, or whatever. Goes to the fact that I think, don't they have like a kissing scene in that movie? They're like 4 years apart. It's a little weird for kids,
Oh, and
frankly.
Casper, that
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
So
it's been a long time since
I've
I saw
seen
that.
it, but yeah. So yeah, I
Um,
mean, I like seeing him in all three seasons, which is nice. It's nice to see that he's a regular, so maybe he'll pop back up and because Don Mancini said he is in the process of making a new movie, not
yeah,
a
then
show,
maybe.
but a movie. So maybe he'll pop up in that
Well,
too.
I
But
mean, once the show's canceled, you move on to the movie, do a couple more movies, then maybe there'll be another Chucky TV series,
well, okay, so I mentioned this last time with Colt. So when now I like the ending to Colt, but
right?
when it originally came out, I went, oh no, is Chucky now human? Oh no. And I was really bummed, but seeing that they obviously had a plan,
Yeah, that
uh um
the
the
dolls would
plan,
still be out there.
yeah, it works. I think it works very well. And
By the
and I
way, buying a $10 good guy doll at a yard sale is the bargain of the fucking year. I
oh yeah.
wanted to, I don't care if that doll's possessed. $10 for that doll. That's a,
Oh, do you like vintage? No, I like retro.
what's the difference? $10.
Yeah, something like that. Well, the weird thing is, did you ever see Rings?
I did not, I think, do I own it? I know I own, I think I own the original.
So the actor who plays Leonard in Big Bang Theory,
Yeah,
he's one of
Johnny
the main guys.
Galecki.
Yeah, he plays a teacher in it. The
Cool.
very beginning of the movie, he's at a flea market, and a young girl is looking at a VHS player, and
Hmm.
he comes up like I think like kind of like it's in the middle, and the girl's this way, and he's this way, and they say the exact same thing. She's just like, oh, is this retro? Or he goes, no, it's vintage. She goes, oh, I thought it was vintage because you said it was something. They do the exact same thing. They're calling it retro and vintage. So I think the girl says retro or something, or he says, I forget how it goes. But it was, and then he ends up buying it, and of course it's got the tape inside of it.
I guess
But
that's a big thing now, is like, is it
but
vintage,
it's
is it
weird that
retro?
it's literally the same scene. That
Maybe he wrote Rings. Did Don Mancini write Rings?
no, it's probably just a coincidence, but it's I just when I rewatched it this time, I'm like, oh shit, that's the scene from Rings, and I don't know which one came out first. I'd have to look it up, but
Rings came out before the TV series and stuff. But yeah, that's written by Akiva Goldsmith and Goldsman and Jacob Estes. So I don't know. Anyway, um, they should do another Ring movie. I'd watch it. We should do that at some point. We gotta review all the rings. We gotta review the Ringu and then Rings and all that stuff. But
The
eventually,
Grudge.
at some point. I don't know if it'll be for mainstream Monday, because I don't know if it's nice. Are they really mainstream
They
these
would
days?
probably, I would say, if we were to do something like that, is just to do the American ones.
Yeah.
There's way too many of the foreign ones.
Oh wow.
Because
Yeah.
there's Japanese, there's Chinese, there's like Korean, there's all of these different people made different versions of it.
Oh,
So
wow.
I would say if we were to do it, just do the American versions.
There's only like three American versions, right? There's like the Ring 2
Two, and
and
then
then
Rings,
Rings. And I think
and
that's it.
then yeah, Grudge has four,
Yeah, Grudge has the Grudge 2, and
Grudge
then
three, and then the Grudge, which
why
is
isn't
eight.
why isn't there Rings versus Grudge?
There is, but it's foreign.
Hmm, interesting. So a little girl comes out of a well, and
They
another
fight each
girl's come
other.
down
Yeah,
stairs, and
they fight each other at the end. It's very boring.
that sounds
I
terrible.
watched it. It
That
was
sounds
very
terrible.
boring because you're
All
just
right.
waiting for this fight to happen. But that's why we need like Chucky versus Michael or Chucky versus Jason or Leprechaun or something like that.
I
Leprechaun would be more of his height, but
I don't. It'd be really funny to see Chucky fight Jason because like Jason's really tall and Chucky's really short. So Chucky would just have to keep running around and Jason's like,
he just confuses him, makes him dizzy because he's running so fast and he just falls
yeah.
over. And then Chucky could he'd be like a big tree, just then Chucky goes
Um,
up and stabs him a lot. So
uh,
overall, I really like this series. I think that for an 8 part, almost, I mean, like what, 40 minutes, 42 minutes an episode.
yeah, sometimes a little longer.
Yeah, I think it works. And I think I think the season 2 is the peak. And then the third season goes down just a little bit, but it's still good. But I could see people maybe kind of getting bored of it. So maybe viewership dropped and they decided not to do a season 4. But I mean, this has the kills and it's you know it's definitely got the spoofing in it. Chucky's the Phantom of the Opera because he's got like his face is all messed up and he's looking through the window in the rain, all sad, because he's been replaced. So
Yeah. Um, I did like the Frankenstein at the end, and he's like, "This is my favorite part." And it's the part where he throws the child into
yeah.
the water and stuff, and then he's laughing about it, and everybody's like looking around, going, "Who's laughing at that?" I like that. I thought, but at first I was like, "Why didn't they do the Blob?" And I mean, Universal probably didn't put it out. That's probably why. But the Blob would have been perfect because like, at one point when he's like slashing everybody or whatever, everybody's running out of the theater, and it would have been really funny to get that like shot of everybody running out of the theater screaming because they're being attacked by Chucky, and stuff. I that's to me that would have been, but I would probably be one of the only people laugh at that, or whatever, because I would get the joke. Not many people have seen the Blob other than maybe you. I know you probably seen it,
I've
years
seen
ago.
all the blobs. Yeah.
But not everybody has. But some people get that and think that's funny. But I see why they would use Frankenstein. I just think it was silly and weird for her to go, the mayor to be like, let's watch this movie after all these terrible things are happening. Let's watch this horror movie.
Well, because she's a narcissist. She's a nut job, and she only thinks about her job. She doesn't give a shit about anybody there. The husband even points it out. Like at first he's like a cucked husband, but by the end he's like, go F off. He's like, you're a bad person.
When you first saw this, did you think that the junior's mother, is that really his mother? I love Lexa Doig who played the mom, Bree, I think it was her name.
Hmm.
And she was because she was in Jason X. I was like, she was in a
Yeah.
Jason movie, wasn't she? I thought she was in Jason Takes Manhattan, and then I realized no, that's the other girl from
Yeah, she
another.
gets
Yeah,
frozen with Jason and they take her up to the lab. Yeah.
yep. And
Yeah, she's gorgeous in that.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's gorgeous, and she's gorgeous in this too. I thought she was
No,
beautiful.
no. So are you saying you think like Junior's adopted or from
Yeah, I
like a
was like,
different?
is
I
that her
didn't
stepmom?
know, and this may sound bad, but it's because of his eyes.
Oh, okay.
I think because I don't know what nationality she is. Maybe she's a mix, but I
Yeah, I think
got
she might
that.
be a little bit.
Yeah, like maybe he's like Junior's a little. He's got some Asian in him, so his facial features are more
I
Asian,
hate
but
that
yet
name
he's
though, Junior. Ugh.
yeah. Because I was wondering, like, wait, is he like the dad's name, but Junior? No, his name is just Junior. It's on his tombstone. Junior. Okay.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Such a weird name. But that's
Yeah.
such a, like a now name. That's what annoys me about like the world now is like people, we live in a world where people are just trying to find cool names to name their children that stands out completely different. So they look up every name on like like boys whatever, boys names online or whatever. Look up obscure boys names. Oh, I'm gonna name my son Jasonaphy. Nobody else is gonna name him that. Their kid that, and I'm just like, this is just terrible. Like these names are awful, and you're giving them to your kids because you just want them to be different or something, or
Well, and
whatever.
well, remember Michael Jackson named his kid Blanket.
That
But
sounds like something you name a dog, you
yeah,
know?
here, Blanket, come here, Blanket. I remember when I worked at Tower Records, we're talking a gazillion years ago, and this is before the prequel series for Star Wars came out. So we just had the original three. And so this guy who I worked with named his kid Anakin. And we're thinking, oh, okay, Anakin is Darth Vader, and okay, that's cool. Then all of a sudden, the prequels come out, and Anakin is just a big whiny douche. It's like, wow, your kid must be really proud to be named Anakin after some whiny little tart.
Mhm.
It's just like,
Well,
wow,
it's
did you
just
name your kid wrong?
I know it's like the kid that actually played Anakin. He got bullied and tortured and everything in school to the point where he was in a mental hospital for a while and he had like a breakdown. Did you hear about that? Jake Lloyd? He
Yeah, I
had
heard,
like
yeah, bad stuff happened
yeah,
to him.
bad
Yeah.
things happened to him and he had a drug problem, an alcohol problem, all because he got bullied and tortured and everything because those movies, and I forgot who it was, but somebody stuck up for that kid, some
Oh, Jar
celebrity.
Jar did.
Yeah, well,
The guy who played Jar Jar.
I think other people did too, but Ahmed, I think this is his name, Best, he did too, but like he got tortured too a little bit with things. He actually posted something like I followed him on Instagram, and he posted a back in the day when they were first doing Attack of the Clones and they didn't have a title for it, they called it Jar Jar's Revenge or something, just to troll people because everybody hated Jar Jar, and
Well,
everything.
the
Or
not to go off on a Star Wars thing, but the rumor was that Jar Jar was incredibly smart, but he played an idiot because he was on the opposite side.
right,
So, as dumb as he was in the first film, and then, of course, when he's in front of the Senate and he's like, I give power to Palpatine, and all that stuff, is he was supposed to be playing an idiot, but he's very smart in what he's doing. That was like a fan theory out there. But no, he's just an idiot. So,
it's just well, I mean, that was his like that's why he got kicked out of his whole country or whatever, his
it's
whole thing.
undersea.
Yeah, his undersea world because he was an idiot. They were just like, you're an idiot, Jar Jar, get out of here. And why do you come back here? Right? And
I
things like
bring in
that.
humans.
Right. And then and then that guy, I mean, that guy, even though it's such a kid thing, this movie was made for kids, right? The Phantom Menace. There's that one part where the guy's like, it's the funniest thing ever. I'm sorry, I rewound that so many times because it just cracks me up. I still love it. I still laugh at it. I don't know why. It's just the child in me that's just like,
Well,
you know,
that's Brian Blessed who did the voice.
yeah,
And he's a very famous British actor. He was Voltron in Flash Gordon.
nice,
So yeah, you get these guys that do like kind of one iconic cult movie, and then you have them in their films, like Bruce Spence, who was the gyro captain in Road Warrior, and then he was also in Thunderdome, but a different character. But you get him because he's Bruce Spence. And so he was in Lord of the Rings. He was the lead Wraith guy that was flying around. He actually had like the flying dragon, and you don't even see him, but like that's him. So
right.
you get certain actors just because of who they are, or maybe because they did one movie. Well, this okay to go back to Chucky. This would be Final Destination. I don't know if they were friends. You know, Oh God, no, I'm blanking on both guys' names. The guy who created Chucky and the actor from
Oh,
Final
Don
Destination.
Mancini and
Don
Devin
Mancini.
Sawa.
Yeah, I don't know if they were friends before this, or maybe, Don Mancini saw Final Destination and said, "Oh, I'm going to give this guy a part," or they met at a party or something. Who knows? But Sawa from Final
Oh, you
Destination.
might have auditioned too, and still, but
But even
um,
if he auditioned, it's like that's the guy from Final Destination.
right. I mean,
You
a
know,
lot of Tony Todd. I mean, no matter what movie he did, including Final Destination movies, he's always known as Candyman. Like,
you get
there's
him because
no
he's Candyman. Yeah,
Robert Englund. You get him because he's Freddy Krueger. You get
yeah.
Kane Hodder because he's Jason. Um, it's one of those things. Because those guys are iconic. You know,
Well, same thing with Brad Dourif.
Brad
You don't
Dourif.
really get him because he was Worm Tongue.
Yeah, you
You
don't get
get
him
him because
because
he's Chucky.
you don't get him because he was in damn, now I'm blanking the Jack Nicholson One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
No,
Nest,
one flew. Yeah.
which is what I bought like because I had just seen that right before I met him. So of course when I met Brad Dorff, all I had to I gave I don't know if I talked about this before on something, but my friend Alfred, have you been on a show with Alfred yet?
Maybe I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I know the name, but
Yeah. So Alfred asked me while I was at Texas Frightmare if I could he had a few people he liked and he wanted to get picture signed, or whatever for them. So he sent me like money through my PayPal, right? And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So a lot of them came with actual pictures. Like if you bought an autograph, you got a selfie with them and everything. One of them was Brad Dorff. So I was super excited because I'm gonna get a freaking, yeah, it's a two-in-one deal, right? I'm gonna get the picture with him myself, like a selfie, but I'm gonna get the autograph for my friend, and everything. So I didn't get an autograph of Brad, but I got one for my friend. And I just seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and I just could not stop kind of gushing, like with talking to him about it and stuff. And he was really sweet about it, right? Like, of course, not many people talk to him about that as they do talk about Chucky or they talk about, I always like to do that. I always like to pick a movie or something that they might, not talk about. Paul does that. He did that with like Sid Haig. He talked about Spider Baby with Sid Haig, and stuff. And Sid Haig loved to talk about that, and things. Miss Sid Haig, but that's beside the point. Anyway,
that's funny because when I hung out with Robert Englund and had some drinks with him, we didn't talk about Freddie. We
hmm.
talked about him as a director
Yeah, with
because
the 976 Evil.
he just did that. It just came out. And so my whole thing was, how did you make this? How did you do? So my thing was more of looking at a director
Yeah.
instead of an actor, I guess. So, and he did give me two things of advice. So,
Do you want to share?
they're not very nice, but he said, you need to sleep with the producer
I think you
to
told me this
get
before.
yeah, to get the film funded, and then you need to you need to get a female producer to sleep with so that you can get the best film, and then you need to get a female editor to edit the movie to get the best cut that you can, and
That's funny.
yeah, and I thought that, and so it's, oh, okay. Now I have no idea if any of the producers or editors on 976 Evil were female. I mean, as I'm sure probably a producer was because it takes normally more than one person, but. Yeah, I thought that that was his advice to a stranger, was that. So,
Well, I bet he was never expecting it to be blattered on a podcast, but all right. We might make a clip of this. You know,
I hope not. Last thing I need. But
I'm just
it's
joking.
yeah. So I mean to kind of get back to this, it's I mean it's all there. I mean it is an 8 hour 8 hour movie,
Mm.
and everybody they all have their well, do you want to go over the kills?
Yeah, you wrote them down, so let's do it.
So, we have, okay, so this is Victim season one. So the first episode is called Death by Misadventure. So we do have the cat, Binks,
Which we
killed.
don't, yeah, we don't know how.
Well, it says, yeah, killed by Chucky off screen, piece of fur shown. Then in the same, these are all from the same episode. There's a frog mutilated by Chucky off screen, body shown. Which I think is weird with stuff like that because how would nobody see Chucky get up there, and totally dissect this frog and stick all these things in it and then disappear under the desk? Like not one student in there saw him do this. But okay, it's a funny scene, so why not? Mary Wheeler died in car accident off screen in 2015. She's mentioned. Lucas Wheeler electrocuted to death after Chucky vomited alcohol onto an exposed electric cable whilst he was standing on a fuse box. So that first episode has four deaths.
Yeah, kind of like, I mean, I'll go with it, but it's not
They're
like,
not all Chucky.
yeah, they're not all Chucky. They're not all, I mean, I guess they're all deaths. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second episode, Give Me Something Good to Eat, Devin Evans' father died of unspecified causes off screen in 2012. That's mentioned. Annie pushed into a rack of knives. So that's the
The
maid or
housekeeper. Yeah.
housekeeper. Yeah. Open dishware by Chucky, impaling her through the throat, which when the guy mentions that he does think that, I think it's one of the cops thinks that it is an accident, because that's what they were telling people for a long time. Don't put things in this way. You put them in this way so it's sticking up so the water hits everything. Because otherwise, if they're in the basket and the blade is down, it may not get all the food off.
And then he says that's a myth, apparently. That's what
I
the,
remember people saying that. I've never done it. Even in my dishwasher, everything is
no,
facing down.
I do it for like some of my forks and stuff, but I don't do it for knives, you know.
Just don't have a don't you make sure not to have your My Pet Monster around you if you're sticking stuff up like that. You never know.
You
So you
might
never
push
know.
me, yeah.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Unknown woman either pushed by an unknown person or accidentally fell into a rake of knives. And wait, isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, that's the same one.
Yeah, yeah, they listed the same thing twice. Okay, so it says three deaths, but it looks like there's only
Oh,
two.
two.
Then the next episode, I like to be hugged. Oh my God. 22, it says. Let's see. Two unknown people stabbed to death by the hack and sack slasher. Oh, now we're getting into flashbacks.
Yeah,
What did you
flashbacks.
think of the flashbacks?
Oh, we forgot to mention that. We forgot to mention a lot of stuff. There's a lot that actually happened throughout
Oh,
this
yeah.
series.
But we
We forgot,
finally get some background on Charles Lee Ray
and
and Tiffany.
yeah, and we find out like Tiffany was the one who called the cops on him, for the toy factory stuff and everything. So we get a little bit of, um,
Wait, that doesn't match.
that's
That
right.
doesn't.
No,
Remember,
it doesn't.
isn't
He
it?
was
It's.
he was supposed to meet his friend, wasn't he? Or something. He was supposed to meet up with his buddy, and
But
then
it
it,
was Curse. No, unless there's a ones during the day and ones at night. Because we see in Curse, there's the flashback, and I think he has like the
the
mom
one
or
girl at
something.
hostage or something, right?
Yeah, like in the basement, and then he
Mm.
leaves, and then that cuts to him running to the toy store with the cop following him. So I guess after that he could have gone back to Tiffany, and then Tiffany being pissed at him, and then calls the cops. So
No,
there's
I don't think so. I
a
don't think so. I think
middle
that was.
scene.
I think that's just he just retcons everything all the time. He just changes everything because to make it work for his, what he needed. What they need is like one big, you know, story Bible or whatever for it. And, this is what happens with this. This is continuity stuff. Don't change anything here, keep it all there. But I mean, they've been retconning the thing since they had Andy be in military school and then later Andy as Alex Vincent is like when I was in military school and I learned that. Like, motherfucker, that was not you. That was a 16-year-old boy
Well,
who,
the character is him.
that was not him. That was not my Andy. It's a different Andy.
That's why I think that they should have been an episode together. I think it would have been
I
fun.
think it would have been hilarious if Andy?
Yeah, which one's the real Andy? Um, okay, so then 1965, and then 17 people stabbed to death in Hackensack slasher 1965. 19 mentioned in a flashback minus two previously counted as victims. Um, Peter Ray stabbed repeatedly in the chest by
That's
the
the father.
Hackensack. Okay.
That's Charles
Um,
Lee Ray's father.
okay, that's yeah, 1965. Then Oliver Hayden stabbed multiple times in the back by Chucky,
At his
who
own
originally
party.
thought
Damn
it
it.
was Lexi.
Oh no, that's at Lexi's house, right? That was at
Yeah,
Lexi's
yeah,
house.
because Lexi's house is the one that like half burns down.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Ray, stabbed to death by Charles Lee Ray in 1965, off screen, body shown in a flashback. So it says here a total of 22 people.
Yep.
Next episode, Just Let Go. Unnamed janitor. Throat slit by Charles Lee Ray off screen. Body shown in flashback 1972.
That was the janitor, I guess, of the boys' school or whatever.
Yeah. I would almost want, I mean, I guess we don't have to do it now, is to get a Charles Lee Ray movie.
Yeah,
But I
I
guess
mean,
we don't need it anymore. I mean, since they
yeah.
kind of did all this stuff. Um, and then Detective Sean Payton stabbed to death by Chucky with syringes.
Man, I don't like syringes. Even though I will tell you, when I was a kid, my parents gave me growth hormone. I don't know if you know what that is, but they thought I could be taller, right? And no,
And a baller.
I was always going to be 5'3", apparently.
They
So,
wanted you to be a basketball player.
no, they thought that I was going to be a midget, I think, and they were afraid like there was something wrong with me because they didn't feel like I was growing, or whatever. But I was just a short dude, like that's just what I was.
Well, people get growth spurts. I mean, they
Yeah,
could.
I didn't. And I don't know if the growth hormone stopped me from getting spurts or something. But anyway, I took those things as a kid and they had to actually stab you or my mom had to like stab me in the leg every day, pretty much. Or I don't know how many times it was, but it was a lot. And you just couldn't hit a vein, otherwise it bled and stuff and hurt. So it was not fun, but they thought that would help, and I don't think it did a damn thing. So didn't matter. But
Yeah.
that's just my parents trying to help me, not be different, I guess. I was I was always gonna be this, and I accepted I was short. In fact, when I was in first grade, I got to play a mouse in a play because I was so tiny, compared to everybody else. So I was okay with that. Like I kind of went into it, knelt into it, but whatever. Anyway, I still don't like syringes though. Like
Okay.
I
Well,
don't.
good reason.
Yep.
Um. Okay. So we're now okay. Flashbacks. Okay. So little lies. Delilah stabbed to death by Charles Lee Ray and Tiffany, shown in a flashback. That's a shared
Mm,
kill. Unnamed man stabbed by either Tiffany or Chucky using Nika's body off screen, body shown, shared kill. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
mm-hmm.
Oh, uh, um, oh my God. I can't.
Fiona Dorff.
Thank you. Fuck, I'm old. Seeing her in that lingerie, I think she is so amazing looking to me. I think she's just absolutely amazing. Good for her.
Brad, you might have a son-in-law, future son-in-law.
Oh, I wish. Um, let's see. So stabbed by Chucky. Unnamed man throat slit by Chucky using, okay, Nika's body, oh, with a razor blade. Principal Megan McVeigh decapitated by Chucky off screen, severed head shown. So that's at the end of the episode. So that's
Yeah.
four kills. Then we have Cape Queer, which I found to be funny because it is Cape Fear instead of
Yeah.
Cape
And
Queer.
they
It's
really, I mean, they are even watching Cape Fear to get the
yeah.
ideas.
Well, in like them watching Frankenstein, remember in Bride of Chucky, they're watching Bride of Frankenstein. So maybe it fits. Um, but so then let's see where we at here. Yeah, okay, so Chucky 1, Melted Fingers, shot to death by Andy and Kyle, shared kill.
Mm-hmm.
Unnamed man decapitated in a car accident off screen, mentioned in a flashback. Unnamed woman decapitated in a car accident off screen, mentioned in a flashback. Unnamed car salesman, throat slit by Tiffany with a nail file, shown in a flashback, 1987.
Yeah, I love
Brie,
that scene actually. I'm like, now I'm like, man, I don't want to sell a car at all to anybody.
I
'Cause like,
wanted that car to be Christine. Like I
um,
wanted them to find like a red, like that red car and make a joke about Christine.
eh, meh,
But
meh,
that's me. That's just
yeah.
me. 1987. Bree Walker pushed out the window by Chucky with a mail trolley made to look like a suicide. Detective Kimberly Kim Evans pushed down the stairs by Chucky, breaking her neck.
That was the last kill of the episode. That was
Yeah.
sad. I did like her, but she did get too nosy. You get too nosy, you're gonna get killed, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a total of six kills. Then double the loss, twice the grieving.
Which episode that's
That would be seven,
right.
episode seven. So unnamed pizza guy, unnamed pizza delivery guy,
Poor
stabbed to
guy.
death by either Charles Lee Ray or Tiffany off screen. We see body shown in a flashback, 1988. Shared killed. Unnamed woman stabbed to death by Charles Lee Ray, shown in a flashback, 1988. Logan Wheeler beaten to death by Junior with a Chucky doll.
That was pretty brutal.
So that's what I mean. I really think that he would have grown up to be probably like some frat guy doing bad stuff.
Maybe. Or he might have been a good guy.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Why take the risk? Um, and then the last one would be an affair to dismember. So we have Chucky number 2, Billy, shot in the head by Kyle. Chucky number 3, Tommy, burned alive in an explosion after Tiffany decapitated him with a nail file and after Kyle accidentally triggered the bomb that Tiffany set up. So shared kill. Nathan Cross stabbed through the chair by Chucky. That's up through the butt. Uh, 8 unnamed people stabbed through the chairs by Chucky. Up through the
Up to the
butt.
butt.
Yep. Chucky number 4 stabbed in the chest by Junior. Oh no, his name is Logan. So it is a junior. It says here Logan Junior Wheeler Junior.
He's never, but I think it was right that they did call him they called him Junior on the gravestone. So I mean, we only knew him as a junior. Hold on, let me see what it says.
I'm pretty sure the tombstone has said Junior, right? Is that what you just said?
I thought it said junior too. Like you said
Yeah.
that, and so I thought that was true. But
Yeah, because I thought it was
yeah,
weird. Like,
online on IMDb, it's just Junior Wheeler. So I don't know. That's weird. But maybe they're calling him Logan Jr. because they don't think they think that's his name is he's the junior to Devon Sawa's character. I don't know, but
yeah, yeah, Logan Junior Wheeler, Wheeler Junior.
whatever.
It's weird having Junior twice in there too. Stabbed in the chest by Chucky And then Chucky number 5, strangled to death by Jake, popping his eyes out of his head.
That
So in
was
this
great.
episode, there's a total of 14 Chuckies, or 14 deaths. So, but remember what I was telling you later, there's, on like a video or two ago, there's always a Chucky.
Hmm.
Like there's always a Chucky.
Yeah, which I don't know. Like after a while, doesn't that lose like the appeal then? Because like
It's no, because I only got that after the third season. That, oh, there's always a Chucky. Because Chucky dies, and then you're just like, oh, what are they going to do now? Chucky's dead. We're only halfway through the season. There's another
and
Chucky.
then there's another Chucky. He just transferred his soul to the the Tommy and turned him into Chucky. And
Yeah,
then,
because the season 2 does have, I think it has a couple Chuckies in it, like a couple multiple Chuckies, just like the first
it's
season.
just like I don't know, like it's kind of like Jaws. There's always going to be a Jaws. There's always going to be a shark a great white shark that
Well,
appears.
so the first Jaws, Bruce, was a male. The second shark, which was Bruce 2, is female. So when the female shark got electrocuted, it popped out a baby because it was pregnant. So the female shark, this is all fan theory, saw the first shark explode, got pissed, started killing everybody because that was its mate, started killing everybody, and then it gets electrocuted. The baby pops out. And that is, I don't know, I guess since they skipped part 3, you could say that that's the shark that's in Jaws the Revenge, is the baby. So there
Why
you
they
go.
skip Jaws 3? Jaws 3 is still a continuation of the
If you only
brothers.
watch the first 3, it is. But if you watch all 4, they skip 4. 4 doesn't exist. Or
Four,
3 doesn't exist. I'm sorry.
three
4,
doesn't.
4 is, yeah, it goes 1, 2, 4.
Why doesn't it? Because they
Because,
have different jobs?
yeah, like in Jaws 3D, um, Dennis Quaid is one of the kids and he works at the park, like at Marine World. And then his brother, who's afraid of the water, comes to join them. But then in Jaws the Revenge, the older brother is like a biologist.
Yeah, well,
Like a,
couldn't they just switch, you know?
well,
One
and
become
then
a
the younger,
biologist, then the other one becomes a cop?
no, they don't do that. Then the younger brother is a cop.
Right.
He took over for his dad, and then he dies.
I
So
mean,
I,
I don't know. I think I don't see any problem with all four of those movies together. I think they just decided to stop working at, SeaWorld, go back to one went to Amity, one stayed sort of, on an island or whatever, went to an island and
I guess you could,
I
yeah.
mean that's how I kind of viewed it. I didn't view it as, I've always did because I always thought that those were in order. Those are just because each one they're a little bit older, you
No,
know.
no, but technically part 3 doesn't exist in this. It's not. I guess it's canon to 1, 2, and 3, but it's not canon 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's canon to me. I can say
Well, and
whatever
what
I
you're
want.
saying makes sense. Kind of like how all of the like the fans out there try to make all the Halloween movies connected, like the original series.
That I would disagree with because that is all over the place. So like the whole they tried so many different things with that I just don't think it could connect because then it wouldn't make any sense. Why does Jamie have a I guess um a aunt or I don't know, like it's very confusing, like
Well, because she went into the witness protection program. She had the kid who would be Jamie, and they told everybody that Lori is dead. And so that's why Jamie is adopted. And then that's 4 and 5. And then we continue that with 6, the same idea. And then for
so,
H2O, she even says that like she changed her name and everything. So she gave up her daughter for adoption and then had the other kid.
and then she had Josh Hartnett. Okay.
Fully
But
grown. Came out of
but
her
but
completely grown as a
but then
Josh
you
Hartnett.
can't have the 2018. Nope, nope, sorry. Nope, nope. That's just
Oh no, it's only the those ones that it's
those
that
ones.
series. You
Yeah,
don't count the
up to 8.
trilogy, you don't count Rob Zombie, you don't count,
Uh,
yeah.
that's sad that
It's
that ends on Halloween Resurrection, which I don't know. I met Brad Lorry, who played Michael in Resurrection, and he was one of the nicest guys. He offered me and my friend a beer, and at his table, and I said no, thank you. I don't drink. And
it's like, yeah, but I got some candy in a van.
if I did drink, I would have taken it, and my friend would have taken it because he only didn't take it because I didn't take it because he didn't want to he didn't want to do that in front of me. Which I told him I didn't care if he did it or not, but you're a grown man, you can drink whatever you want. I can't. I'm a grown man who chooses not to drink. But anyway, he told me that he got a lot of like death threats, and he got a lot of um these people came up to him one day and yelled at him. These redneck guys came up and started yelling at him, saying, "How dare you lose to a black guy? Like back down to a black guy and everything." And he was like, "What the fuck is wrong with people? It's a goddamn movie." Like so he didn't like he got like people wanted to beat him up because of that. He was like, "Why is people are so like racist and nasty?" And so when I heard that, I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." They had to deal with that kind of
Yeah,
bullshit.
that stuff is always stupid.
It's
And
a
I don't
movie.
I think Halloween Resurrection is actually better than what a lot of people say. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So
It's. I remember seeing it in the theater by myself on Halloween. Because it was playing at my local like theater that played more like retro movies or whatever, or vintage movies, whatever you want to call them. And so I watched at that time Halloween Resurrection had already come out or something, and so I hadn't seen it yet, so I was like super excited to watch it, and I watched it for like 15 minutes, and then the thing just right, like messed up, and I was like, oh crap. I guess I guess I'm not going to be able to watch the movie. They got it rolling, had to start all over again and everything. And Brad Lorry looked at me when I told him that. He was like, "Why did you stay?" I was like, "Cause it's a free movie. It was a movie. I wanted to see it. And I was the only one, so I could have left, I guess, and said, never mind. But." I wanted to see it. It didn't bother me. I don't remember going out of it going, "Oh God, that was terrible." I remember coming out of it going, it's okay." Like it was not good, but it wasn't terrible, you know. So it's not my favorite, let's just say. But it's not my least favorite. That will go to five.
oh, five is awful.
Yeah,
Five is
five and then eight, then six, I think are my least favorite.
where would Chucky season one fit in with your ranking? Like if you since it's one long movie, I guess that you could probably fit it in there.
I could count it. I don't know, maybe four
Okay.
stars. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, there. Oh, I would definitely give it 4 stars. Yeah, to do a rating. Uh, uh, um,
Ranking, are you saying that pretty much? Like where on the
yeah,
level of
like
the
do you like?
movies?
Yeah, would it be like? Well, I like three, then I like Bride, then I think season one is really good, and then that type of thing. Could you?
Remember, I think three is my least favorite.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm just naming.
no, I know you're more naming like I think you really like three.
I don't mind three at all. I wish it was Andy, but there was the real Andy, but there's a reason for it. So
I think it would go one, then Bride of Chucky, because I really like that one. Um, then Curse of Chucky, then Cult of Chucky, then number three. Nope. Chucky season one. No, no, man. See, I didn't give this much thought before, so now I've got to, yeah, make sure. So Curse of Chucky, then Chucky season one, then Cult of Chucky, then three, then two. Two's last. I just think
Okay.
it was just a rendition of the first one. Is the same thing as the first one in my opinion. And I like the first one a lot better. What about you?
Because I have it up here. So I would say, um, I really like Colt. Well, I would probably say my favorite would be two. Then it would go Colt. Then probably Curse. Then
Let me write this
Bride.
down.
Then it would go Chucky season one, and then Seed, and then three. Child's Play would go in there. I'm not really sure where Child's Play would go because it's not my favorite. I like it, but it's not my favorite.
Now we're not
So,
talking about the remake too. I haven't done the
right.
remake, but I'm not going to count that in there.
No, you don't.
Um,
So, but
so it's a
you know
check.
what's weird is so on the I have this. So this is how I watched it is Chucky season one. So I have the Blu-ray. And it's weird is they say like write or watch the rest of the Chucky films and they show posters for all of them except for part one.
Okay.
So for some reason one is left off. And I don't know, that's kind of weird. Like why wouldn't you include part one if you're saying we'll watch the other Chucky movies? You know, if you like see Chucky season one, watch the other Chucky films. But yet there's no poster for the first one. They obviously don't show the remake, but you know, so I just thought that that was kind of strange. So maybe there was something with the first one of why they couldn't show it. I don't know. There's also on this the Legacy of Chucky, which is like 10 minutes. It's a puff piece, you know, for the series, for season one and the other movies. So nothing great in there. There are two deleted scenes, um, which I'm glad they cut out. One is with Tiffany. She's walking up some stairs and she almost puts kind of like a makeup box that you can open and it kind of like a tackle box or something like that.
Yeah,
It
the one
looks
that her child gave her, that Glinda gave her. Remember that?
okay. She puts that in front of a door and that's it. She just walks up some stairs, puts it by a door and goes like, "There you are." And then she like leaves. So I have no idea where that was supposed to go in this.
Mm.
Um, And then there's another scene of, it's a weird scene. It's two kids, they're in school. You got the two guys and Lexi, and these other two students are just bad mouthing her, you know, and saying, "Oh, well, she probably killed them or something," and she could hear them, and
Mm.
they're literally 2 feet apart from one another, and it's like, and then she confronts them, and they're just like, "Oh, whatever," you know, and they leave. But it's so weird that she doesn't say something like, "You know, I'm standing right here," because they're talking, and I don't know. And the scene is only 2 minutes, so it's
Mm.
like, are they saying this stuff because they don't realize she's like 2 feet away from her,
Right.
or are they saying it on purpose so she can hear it, but she doesn't really react? Like, dickheads, I'm standing right here. She just goes up and kind of confronts them on it. So it was kind of so I'm glad these two scenes were cut because I don't
Um,
it's very weird.
all right. So here's the ranking completely because I forgot one. One is Child's Play. Two is Bride of Chucky. Three is Curse. Four is Chucky season one. Five is Colt. Six is Seed, which I forgot. Seven is Child's Play 3, and eight is Child's Play 2. So that's my ranking. And I'm
Oh
gonna keep
wow,
this.
eight.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this for when we do season 2 and 3 and see where I put those in the ranking.
Yeah, and I'll write one up, like have an actual one written up with two seasons two and three put in there
Yeah, but
too.
we're not gonna put in the documentaries or the or
No,
the
we wouldn't. No.
remake because they're not part of
Right.
the series of them. But I did like the documentary a lot, and I hated like if that were the case, Child's Play remake would be last, period, ever. Like no matter what, I guarantee there's nothing I would like, of the original stuff. Like I mean, I may not like Child's Play 2, but that's a million times better than the stupid remake. That I think,
Yeah, that remake is horrible. So
yeah.
I'm,
But, they tried, I guess.
I guess. So I'm going to show you because I always show something that like
I
something
got
that I
my
have that's Chucky owned. So you got your shirt.
got my shirt again. I
So
think I've done this before.
well, I was over at Joe Lujan's house and he was having a party. I think it was the Halloween party that he has. And he goes, "Hey John, I have a gift for you." And I'm just like, "Ooh, what is it?" So he gave me this.
Cute.
So it's handmade by robots. It's from Bride of Chucky. And so it's not a Funko Pop.
Nice. You're gonna keep it in the box?
Yes. And yeah, it's the Knit series. So
Oh,
like his head doesn't turn or hands move. He's just one big solid piece. But but I thought that that was pretty nice. It's a collectible vinyl figure. So oh, I got my Funko bag. I kept it.
I kept this too. Even though like the box for the Funko, my nephew, because I give him Mickey Mouse Funko, and he just wants to play with the Mickey Mouse, so I let him take it out of the box if I want. If I wanted one that was in the box, we would. But the box was destroyed in the coming back from California. But man, the Funko place is amazing, and I have not taken
Yeah.
a picture. I took a bunch of pictures there, and I need to upload them. I did not upload them yet, but I went there and I went to Amoeba Records at the same
Yeah, it's
day.
like yeah, almost
It's
across the
funny because
street.
I didn't understand what the guy was telling me, so I get in there carrying this bag, and the guy's like, "You're gonna have to leave that behind or leave that behind here." And I go, and I thought he was talking about my phone. I was like, wait, I'm not allowed my phone? Or no, at first I thought it was I thought because I had a drink in my hand, like water. I was like, am I not allowed to have water in here? And they're like, no, yeah. And they're like, no, you have to leave that, blah, blah, blah. I didn't hear the guy, and I was like, wait, my phone? And he goes, no, your Funko. And I go, oh, you want to keep the Funko? He goes, yeah, we have Funkos in Amoeba Records, and we don't want you taking them, or whatever, like, getting mixed up. I said, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, yeah. No, they did the same thing to me as I had that bag, but it was filled up
Yeah.
to the top. Like you could see Funko Pop tops like
And they're
sticking
only
out.
like $15 a piece, and that's cheap.
11.99.
Well, that was then. This is now. So now it's
Mm,
$15.
no. But it was Philip and we were walking around Amoeba, and I had a Funko Pop from Amoeba in my hand, and I set it on top of the Funko Pop in the bag. And this woman comes up to me and she goes, you don't want to do that. She goes, just keep them separate. And she goes, keep the bag in this hand and keep the Funko Pop in this hand. And I went and I got like a basket. But she's just like, yeah, you don't want people to think that you're trying to steal.
Yeah,
So,
nowadays they just keep your Funko stuff because they know like there are probably too many of you, people like you, who go in there with all these bags of Funkos and they just don't want it
oh,
confused.
and I bought a bunch of Funkos from them. I bought
I
Road Warrior has Funko Pops. And so I bought three
I,
from that
I
alone.
kind of wish I had bought a um a Funko for myself or something, you know. Um, but I'll be back to those different places. I liked Amoeba Records. You'll see on my haul video that I have, and I think I've already showed you, but I had two movies that I bought from there, and so um, I'm excited because I wanted to buy more. It's just money, I had to make sure I still had money for other stuff because that that was part. I went there I think on Tuesday, and that was like the second day of being in LA. And my dad didn't want to go there, right? So I was like, oh, I'll just walk, right? It was like 15 minute. I think I messaged you when I was walking. I was like, oh, I gotta do a 15-minute walk. You're like, Are you
I know it's like how
fucking kidding
freaking
me?
lazy are
Are you
you?
kidding? I'm like,
LA's flat. Like
I
it's not
know.
like you're
It
walking up a
was,
hill.
I know, but still, it was 15 minutes. I didn't want to do that if I didn't have to.
Oh my God.
I could have taken a car, but the cars are a pain in the ass because it's hard to park there, or you have to
Well, that's
pay
why
for
it's always a
parking.
joke when people find easy parking in like TV shows and movies that are in LA. It's like,
Yeah.
no, LA is not an easy place.
Well, when I lived in, and we found this out even uh, when I lived in San Gabriel, my apartment complex had easy parking, on the side, and everything. And my dad came to visit, and we actually went up and we found easy parking, and I was like, yes, I'm back home, because like everywhere else in Van Nuys, it's a bitch, you know. In Burbank, it's a bitch. Everywhere it's like difficult to find, easy parking, and everything. So I nobody ever warned me when I first moved out there that parking was going to be so bad. And I found that out pretty quickly. So it's not like Williamsburg where I live. You can park in a parking lot everywhere. There's places to just, go. But anyway, it's beside the point. So
Stay on target.
I don't know. Was that Target? I don't know. That was some off,
That was way off target.
but we are I mean we're pretty much at the end. We're done talking about Chucky, I
Yeah.
think, at this rate.
And
Anyway,
every episode, I have my little Chucky up there,
nice.
right there.
Is that a Funko?
Yes, he's just out of. Joe gave me that one too for my birthday, and but it's out of the box, so there was no box with it.
I had a Chucky ducky, like a Chucky rubber ducky, and unfortunately one of the dogs ate it.
Oh,
So he's a really messed up Chucky. He's like that scene where he's like, oh, I've got to trade my soul into the other doll because nobody's gonna ever love this face.
it's all melted.
Yeah, it's all melted. But like that's how that Chucky is. He's all like it's like a head's all off. I think it's still around somewhere. It's gonna pop up.
Yeah, if you could find it, show it on our next video. So it'd
All
be funny
right.
to watch it.
No, it'd be
Messed
funny to
up.
see it. It's a really fucked up. It looks ugly. Like Caroline would go scream when she saw that. You know, like she did with the other Chucky.
I don't blame her. He's hideous looking.
He is. Who nobody.
He's all melted, and he started the damn fire.
It was
So
his fault. Yep.
yeah.
He thought that. I guess he thought that was a good idea. You know, idiot. You know. But anyway, yeah, to sum it up, I enjoyed Chucky season one a lot. I had a fun time. I'm very glad I got to check that out. I am looking forward to season two and three. I'm wondering where they're gonna go. I don't have a clue. So it's gonna be an interesting kind of thing of like, what's next for these crazy kids and their crazy doll. They're even crazier doll. Who and I do love Jennifer Tilly is still in it, and she's still playing Jennifer Tilly at times. When she talked to that house buyer or whatever, she's like, "Do you want an autograph?" Like, he's like, "No,
Yeah.
no, thank you. You're
No, I
crazy."
got someplace to go.
Yeah, I gotta go. Or the mayor's like special guest Jennifer Tilly, and I swear to God, I wish somebody in that crowd went, "Who?" Because like I'm like, who in a Hackensack really knows who Jennifer Tilly is? Like they're gonna be like, what? Why is this chick? Like she has nothing to do with our town, other than she's dating or married or whatever you want to call it to a psychopath that used to live in the town. But that's it, you know. So I
She
guess
had her
that's a
reasons to
connection.
be there, though.
She has a connection, I guess. But why did she kiss Devon Sawa?
Oh, I think just to be weird.
Oh, well, later he used that. Was Chucky used that like that woman kissed your, you know,
Yeah, I guess maybe to like put it against the
junior, yeah,
junior.
and he
Yeah,
put it
that your
against his
dad's having
dad.
an affair or something like
Yeah,
that.
to make him mad at his dad.
Yeah.
Your dad deserves to die. No, nobody, none of these people deserve to die. I'm sorry, not even Junior. I know you might think so, but I don't think he deserved to die.
Oh, I would even say Lexi to, to a
In the
degree.
beginning, but she became a better person, and
Well, you had to have
and
people die for her to become a better person. So why not
but
just knock her off and then keep the other people alive? Great. So all these people are dying to make one person a better person, and she's still not even a great person at the end of this.
but
She's still kind of a
some of those
jerk.
people were awful people too. I mean, I don't know, the dad wasn't an awful like even though he was an alcoholic and he was homophobic. I don't know if he necessarily deserved to die. Um,
Oh, the original dad.
the
Yeah.
original dad,
No, 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 because he's just drinking because of mom, and he had different ideas of what his son would be, and the doll thing that he was doing was very weird and
the
almost kind
sculpting.
of, yeah, David Lynchian in a way that I would even think if I was a parent, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Go out and play or something.
Mm,
Um, because the doll stuff was, but I don't think that's ever brought up again. I think it was just for like a couple episodes and that was it.
yeah, I mean, he's not an art guy. Way he is by the end of the show. At the end of the show, he's just a guy who's just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Like he's just trying not to get killed by Chucky. I think that Devin even has that like line about that is like we're just trying to survive right now. So I like that. I don't know. All right. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. Everybody, if you got a chance to, tell me what you guys think about this. Did you guys like Chucky season one? Did you not like it? Did you expect it to be better? Did you expect it to be worse? What did you guys think of Chucky season one? I honestly enjoyed it. I know you said you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
So, we'll see. And so we'll see you next week for a brand new episode where we're going to be doing season two, season dose. So we'll
Dose.
see I, what I think. Because that's the thing is you know what you think, but you have no idea what I think. In fact, I don't even know what you think of season two yet. So can't wait to hear and maybe you'll think differently after you've seen it because you haven't watched it in a little while. Maybe you're
I've
right.
watched it twice, so this would be my third time. Season three, I've only seen once because it's the newest one. So that will be a second viewing for when we do season three. But season two, yeah, this would be my third.
Nice. Well, there you go. So hopefully
Noise.
everybody will enjoy this. Until then, everybody, have a good one. We'll be back. Bye.
Bye.